Daniel Ricciardo has found himself in a very tough situation after the recent drama with McLaren. Different teams are trying to get him on board to race for them for the 2023 season. Now, Mercedes has also shown interest in the 33-year-old Australian. Will Ricciardo move to the Silver Arrows? Join us in today's video to find out. The 2022 season did not start well for him. He never looked to be in form and was constantly outperformed by his teammate Lando Norris. His boss Zak Brown was furious at his performances and did give negative signals about his future at McLaren, despite having a contract with him till the end of 2023. The team was already in talks with a young Australian sensation, Oscar Piastri, who also had some entanglement with Alpine. At last, McLaren ended the contract with Ricciardo and they got the decision in their favour in Piastri's case. Ever since that, Daniel Ricciardo's future has remained uncertain. He has not signed a contract with any team till now. However, many teams have tried to get in touch with him. Teams' lineups for the 2023 season have not been completed yet. Alpine, Haas and even Mercedes are looking for a driver for 2023 and beyond. Mercedes have recently shown interest in getting Ricciardo. Lewis Hamilton is signed with Mercedes till the 2023 season, which means Ricciardo can drive for them in the 2024 season. However, Hamilton has not decided to hang up his boots just yet. He has not extended his contract with Mercedes. Things can change very quickly. Sebastian Vettel, who is just 35 years old, announced his retirement out of nowhere and shook the lineups for the 2023 season. Hamilton has not given a simple answer to whether he would continue to race after the 2023 season, but he has said that only he will decide when his masterpiece is completed. That could mean he could wait for one more championship victory. According to Sportsmail, Mercedes is considering getting Ricciardo on board and having him as a reserve driver in the 2023 season. Ricciardo, on the other hand, has said that he is open to any scenario. Talking about his future, he said, "The truth is, I'm keeping every option open, not just for next year, but for the future. One thing that he does know is that he wants to race. The hunger is there, even though this is a very difficult time in his career. He still has the desire to be on the grid and compete. For that, he is willing to be in a position even if it's reserve," he said. He doesn't want to be too proud to say, "I'm too good for that. I just want to hear everything and see what makes sense." There are also rumours that he would follow the path of Sebastian Vettel and hang up his boots, but he has made it clear that he would not quit even if he fails to find a team to race for. Toto Wolff has had an eye on him ever since he was racing for Renault. Talking about Ricciardo, the Mercedes boss said, "We always had an eye on Daniel. We really like him in here at the time." But then they went with Valtteri Bottas to race alongside Hamilton. Now, the team is seeing an opening and maybe the fans would finally get to see the Australian with Mercedes alongside George Russell. Ricciardo has run out of options. The only viable option apart from being a reserve driver for Mercedes is for him to join Alpine, the seat left by Fernando Alonso, as he signed a new multi-year deal with Aston Martin. This may not come to pass despite the Alpine's boss showing interest to have him on his side. Ricciardo has already raced for Alpine and left it for McLaren. He may end up choosing to be a reserve driver for Mercedes than drive for Alpine on the back of the grid. He was also talking with Sergio Perez about sitting out the next season and taking a break from sport for a year and joining it again in 2024. The 2024 season would present him with different opportunities and he may be able to find better options than he has now. The problem with the move to Mercedes is clear. The first problem with being a reserve driver for Mercedes is that he will not be sure whether he will even race for Mercedes after the 2023 season. The chances that Lewis Hamilton decides to retire from the sport are not very much. He also feels confident about his racing career. As he said, "For years we've been going up and down with stories of retirement and stopping. I feel healthier than I have ever felt. I love what I am doing and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Sorry, Dan." Turning to Ricciardo, he added, "Sorry, buddy, I feel like I can race quite a bit longer, so I will be potentially steering towards that." Smiling as always, Daniel Ricciardo refused to comment on the situation. Confirming rumours about Ricciardo's joining Mercedes as a reserve driver, Hamilton said, I think he should be racing, personally. I think he is far too talented and he deserves the right to be amongst us all racing. But of course, if he is a part of our team, that would be great. But that role is not what really is best for him. If I was managing him, he'd be racing. These comments suggest that Hamilton is not going anywhere, at least for the next 2 seasons. But the uncertainty in the world of F1 cannot be taken out of consideration. Sebastian Vettel, for example, never said directly that he would be leaving the sport anytime soon, but in the end, he decided it out of the blue, taking everyone by surprise. Even if Hamilton did decide to retire from the sport after the 2023 season, Ricciardo would be asked to back George Russell, who would take the role of the main driver in the team. This would again not be a suitable situation for the Australian. He has been in a similar situation before, and he decided to leave the team than be the second best driver on the team. Of course, the fans remember the time when Ricciardo was racing for Red Bull. His role in Red Bull was to back Max Verstappen, and he did not do very well because he did not like being a backer. He left a very good spot to join Alpine. That move has been considered one of the big mistakes Ricciardo made in his career. If he has learned anything from those mistakes, he would be able to race for Mercedes along with George Russell, not worrying whether he would be the main driver or not. Only time will tell what happens to Ricciardo. He has got very limited options and he must weigh the positives and negatives of all available options. Driving for Mercedes would be an amazing move for him, but he would finally be in a car where he can show his potential to the fullest. But that remains subject to a lot of other things which are not looking so much in his favour, at least for now.